Yes.
Cal, not many teams beat you guys on the boards that way they did, but how'd you like the way you found ways to win and the free throw shooting?
Yeah, our guards didn't rebound. Many of those balls were over our bigs' heads, and they're in a mud, wrestling match down in there. Balls came over, and, you had more grabbing rebounds. He gets 3. You had guys over the top grabbing. Our guards didn't rebound. So, and then Stokes outworked our big guys. He just outworked them. There was a free ball, and he got them almost every one. But what I did like, we were strong with the ball. We put more pressure. They're a team that they run great stuff and post the ball, and I couldn't get certain guys to pressure the ball. You're out. And there goes Jared. How'd he look? Then there goes Dominic. How'd he look? And it proves that there are games where you really got to get up and play because they're not trying to play fast. They're trying to get motion and they're trying to post it. But that's a good team. I mean, Tennessee's not going to lose many in our league. I'm just happy we don't have to see them again until tournament time, possibly, and I hope we don't see them there. They're a physical team. McCrae's as good as they get. Their guard play, they've got length. They come off the bench with Reese, who's a different kind of big guy. They run their stuff. Kwanzo's got them guarding. They're really physical. They'll bump and grind. Maimon came back, and look at him. I mean, he's a beast.
Coach, talk about the boost that Dakara gave you off the bench today.
Well, Willie, didn't play as well as he'd been playing, and we went with Dakara, and he was terrific. What happened was we played through Julius in the first half, and you notice we kind of put him on different spots out on the court and then told him to beat the guy in the dribble, and he created for his teammates. In the second half, we tried it, but they crowded him, and he held the ball too long. So he tried to go one more dribble than he really needed to because they were crowding him. So we went through Andrew, and Andrew did an unbelievable. That's who I expect. Maybe not 10 out of 10. I'll give him a 9 out of 10 free throws. But what he did in pick and rolls, he got in the lane, he made the right play, he had no turnovers, he made big shots. The runner, the pull-up jumper. And he ran our team. He played like a point guard. And so, he got better today. He really did. Alex was good again. You guys are looking at numbers. I'm not. Alex was good again. Deserved to be out there. That last rebound to end a half where he mixed it up. It was a rough game. Some of the guys are in for a rough game. Other guys on our team don't play as well when it's rough.
John, what did you see in Andrew that said, okay, I can put the ball in his hands and he's ready to do this?
Well, we've been working really hard on pick and roll stuff for him and trying to teach him the pace of the game and how fast you have to go off the screen, how you have to set your man up, how you have to attack the big man. What he was doing was messing with the ball, all the stuff, and then not covering any ground and not putting any pressure. And we've just been working for weeks on him doing that. And I thought initially we were trying to go over the top, and then we told him turn him down. You'd go and attack the 5-man, and he did a great job. He's big, he's got size, so it's not like a 6-foot guard going in there. He did good stuff.
Cal, about every call-in show you have, somebody wants to know what you're doing to work on free throws or wants a new guru to come in. What happened today?
Well,
Anything?
we did something new in the last 2 days, and it's something that is unique and something that I don't know if it's ever been done, but we went in the pool and we put on those pool baskets, and we got them to get down and just start making them for the mental part of it. So, and it worked. Coach. And if you believe that, I got great land for you to sell. And I had this whole room. Are you people like?
Coach, with the way they beat you in Knoxville last year, did you sense the returning players had a little bit more juice for this game?
No, they were going to do the same thing early in the game. It was 6-0. I had to call a timeout. Had to get some guys out of the game. Had to change up, what we were doing. They make it hard because it's hard to go switch pick and rolls with them because they're so big. Even if you switch behind after, you're really giving them something that they do well. So it made it hard. We didn't play the pick and roll great. Andrew got hung up on just about every pick and roll again. we were trying to switch late. Our bigs didn't do a good job of squaring off the ball handler. But again, they beat our brains in, I can remember in the tournament a few years ago when we beat their brains in, like by 50. It's how this stuff is. I mean, this was a close game. We played them in close games. They beat us bad. We beat them bad. They're Tennessee. They're really good. Kwanzo's done, again, they defend, they rebound, they run their stuff, they get baskets close to the rim. They got a player who can get his own. Like I told him, the play that McRae made down the left side where he just stepped back and we had 2 arms on him and a guy falling at him and he switched it easily. I looked at my staff. I said, oh, my. Hope he doesn't get that going because there's no defense for that.
John, you talked about you have some guys that just aren't in for a rough game. Is that Willie? I mean, that's 2 games this week that he's kind of stepped back, it looks like, for you.
Well, but he's owning his performance. See, there's a difference in what we try to teach our players here. Sometimes we do it nicely, other times we don't do it nicely, that they have to own their performance. I'm talking clutter. The clutter around them enables them. In other words, it wasn't your fault. He likes the other guy more. If you had as many shots as so-and-so, if you did, look, own your performance. Own it. You did it, you own it. Own your practice performance. Don't make an excuse. Don't alibi. Own it, and then change it if you want to change it. So I think that's why our guys leave here knowing we don't have excuse makers. If you didn't play well, you didn't play well. Willie didn't play well. James, the game was a rough game. He didn't play well. Just how it is. Did okay, but he was a non-factor in the game. So now, own it and change it.
Cal, what was the difference for Julius in the second half, and was there any of the fatigue or cramping stuff?
No, they just went at him, and he didn't give it up quick enough, and I wasn't comfortable with what I was seeing. So I just said, spread the court, we're going at Andrew. Had nothing to do with anything. In the first half, we isolated him and made them come off, and he made a quick pass. And he had those assists, and second half he held it a little long. Tried to go 1 extra bounce. And that's the old stuff that creates the turnovers. So we just went away. And these things, you're trying to do what you can to win the game, and then you deal with egos after. Let's just win. And I'll deal with all that stuff after. But again, he's a physical player. He gave them trouble. So,
Coach, 44% three-point shooting. With what you guys already do well offensively, what can this performance elevate you to that level that you'd like to be at offensively?
Well, the biggest thing is we're not a team that's going to shoot 25 threes. That's not who we are. We're a driving team. We're a post-up team. We're a rebounding team. I want us to be a vicious defensive team so we can get out and run because we're fast. But if you jam us in, we will shoot threes. Now, we have had games like this, and we've had other games where we're 1 for 12. My thing to them is, if you think you are missing, you're probably going to miss. So step in and shoot a 2. If you know you're in the frame of mind, I'm making this, do it. The second thing I'm telling the passer, tell the guy to shoot it. Pass, shoot it. Because then they'll build his confidence. Oh, dude wants me to shoot it. I'll let it go. So we're trying to get these guys. Again, I got all 18, 19-year-old kids. This is all new. How to finish a game. James Young took it out of bounds. Why did you take it out? I was close to the ball. Really? You're not supposed to take it out. Whether you're close to the ball, far from the ball hits you in the head. You don't take it out. Why did you do it? I don't know. We get a lot of that. So all I can tell you is we're going to continue to work. This team's getting better. They're playing and fighting. They're playing together. They're executing better. Again, we held a pretty good team to 41% from the floor. Last game we held them to 37. Out-rebounded them by 18. Fade intervened on a few things, and we broke down a little bit, but we're moving the right way.
John, is Dakari about on target for what you'd expect, and does it take a bigger player a little longer to develop at this level?
Big players develop later, but again, all these guys, they got to eliminate the clutter. You got to quit, own your performance, come in, practice, and work. And again, this is not a disrespectful thing, but You know how you get letters, and if there's an addressed envelope, like my secretary doesn't give me any unaddressed letters. They're torn up, so I don't even see them. But someone sends me something about, play more guys. If you play more guys and da-da-da, which is a good, different teams. It's harder when you got a young team to play more guys because you're trying to get your team right. But the second point I said, this is with all due respect, in 2010 when I called Coach Wooden about my team, he told me I play too many guys. You need to play 6 or 7, maybe 8 max if someone's in foul trouble. All kind of ways of doing this. He was behind Willie. How well was Willie playing? Not a whole lot of minutes there. Now Willie's not playing as well. Now you go do your minutes and prove you should play more, own your performance. And he did. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of Alex. All these guys. I didn't put John Hood in today. John has had the greatest attitude and the greatest approach and has grown so much in the time that he's been here. I just see him, like what's he want to do? You want to get in coaching? What do you really want to do? But you just see the growth. Sometimes you see it fast. Alex, it's taken time. Took a year and a half. So what? What if it takes 2 years, 3 years? So? It does take time. Thanks.